pure energy.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Chucklivinlarge here. I had a bunch of folks ask me to go over the gear that I'm going to be using on the Appalachian Trail 1 January 2022. So I have it here and I want to go over it. I apologize up front. This video is a little bit longer than what I like to do. It'll probably be 15 or 20 minutes long. But I wanted to cover everything. Got off to a good start this morning, having myself some coffee. Hope to get out here before the jets started flying. But they're flying right now, so it's a sound of freedom in the background that you hear. And I apologize for any unnecessary noise that you may have on the audio side. So anyway, let's go ahead and get this started. First off, I have my hat that I'm going to be wearing for the Appalachian Trail. Because I'm kicking off in the middle of the winter, I wanted to have something that was readily identifiable, and I think this kind of suits the bill. I know that the folks along the trail, that live along the trail, they're used to having hikers, but maybe not this time of year. So I wanted to be very obvious with what my intent was. So I have you see I have a patch on the front, and I have my merit badge on the back. I bet you a bunch of y'all didn't know that there was an AT merit badge. Well, I'm going to try to earn mine. And there it is right there. So I'm just going to wear it on the back as I go. Let me get into the pack right now. I'll get into the external part of the pack. I bet a bunch of y'all want to know what my pack weighs. So my weight right now is 27 pounds, and this is a Granite Gear 60-liter pack. It's a little larger than what I would normally use, but then again, I'm going to be in the winter time, and so I wanted to make sure that I had the necessary warmies to wear so I didn't get cold. So first off, I am carrying an umbrella. I know from years of hiking in the woods in various places of having the rain pelt on top of my hood for 6 to 8 hours gets to be a real pain in the butt. So I'm going to opt out and wear this umbrella attached to my gear like this to keep the rain just from beating the top of my hat and the top of my hood on my thing for so long. So that's the reason I'm carrying the umbrella. I'm looking forward to it. Hope it comes in handy. If I don't like it, I'll just mail it back. No biggie. Externally on my pack, I have my water bladder, which is a Katadyn 3-liter, be-free. Looking forward to using this. Works really well. In addition, I'm also carrying an additional water bladder, which is just a CNOC water bladder that I'll have externally. I have a piece of Tyvek that I will use as a ground cloth when I need to, and also I can sit on it or do some stretching on it on the ground without necessarily getting wet. And I also have a little butt pad that I picked up off of Z-Pack's website. I think you can get them off Amazon too, but they weigh next to nothing, and they'll do a great job of insulating my butt from the cold ground when I'm out there. As I said, I was running a little heavier. Externally too, I have a couple of pouches here that I'm using, one for my water bottle and then the other one for my cell phone. I'm also carrying a Garmin inReach with me, so it'll kick out my position for my family and loved ones so they can monitor where I am along the trail. Also, a good friend showed me that Runner ID, which makes a small ID for the watches of runners, that can also be used on your backpack, and I have one right here which has my name, where I'm from. It also has my phone number, my wife's phone number, and my daughter's phone number that they can call for my pack. I'll also have an identical one that I'll be wearing on my Garmin watch. This is a GPS watch that I'm using, and I'll have one of those right there in case somebody was to find me unconscious or otherwise incapacitated, what I absolutely hope is not the case. Okay, so as I said before, going a little heavier, so I've got the brain on the Granite Gear pack. And I'll go over what I'm right now. I'm tentatively looking at putting into the brain. I wanted to have some of my warmies quickly accessible, so I have a Gore-Tex jacket, which this particular one is in a military pattern, but you can also pick one up without a military pattern. The thing that I really love about this particular Gore-Tex jacket, which a lot of Gore-Tex jackets are the same as long as they're made out of Gore-Tex, is under the armpits. It's got these armpit vents, and I like those a lot, because that enables me to put it on if I need to, and then when I'm walking, if I start getting warmer, I can unzip these vents and also unzip the front to get airflow going through. And subsequently, when I stop, I can zip those right back up again and maintain some work if that's appropriate. But anyway, this is one of the external parts of my layering system that I'm using. Good piece of kit. I have a pair of lightweight wind pants These also happen to be in a military pattern, but I'm pretty sure these are Patagonia pants. They're primarily a wind pant, I should say. They are waterproof to a degree, but they are not. They're not going to sustain themselves and sustain. I mean, they're not going to last very well if it's raining in a downpour and I'm out in it all day. But I looked at it more as something, if it's cool up on a mountain and the wind's blowing hard, it'd be a great piece of kit to have along the way. My comfort item is this pair of 30-something-year-old Patagonia bunting fingerless gloves. I've had these forever. I just love them. I like having them on my hands. So these will be my go-to glove that I'll wear on most days that it's not too incredibly cold on the trail. On the days that it's incredibly cold on the trail, I have these OR gloves that I will wear. These are Windstopper OR gloves. They are great. I've worn them a lot riding my bicycle when it's in the teens and like 20 degrees outside, and then moving along at 15 to 20 miles an hour. These keep my hands warm very well, and so I figured that would transfer to the trail on the very cold days just as well. And they also shed water to a degree. So that's my gloves. And then I think everybody that's done any hiking, through hiking, knows what a deuce of spades is, and I have one of those along. So that's the contents of the brain of my pack, and all of that is subject to move around depending on what's going on, and as I learn how to use my pack a little bit better. For my camp shoes, I'm opting for these Vibram 5-finger shoes. I love these shoes. I wear them hiking all the time on hikes up to about 10 miles. So I'm bringing them along as a dual purpose item. Some of the time I'll hike with them, though they're not my primary hiking shoe. My primary hiking shoe I'm going to use is a Ultra Superior, and you guys are probably pretty familiar. It's very much like the Lone Peak 4.5. These are 4.5s too. I just wasn't able to get a pair of Lone Peak 4.5s, so I opted for the Superior. Good shoe. This is what I'll be wearing all the time. This is what I'm wearing for a camp shoe. These are awesome. Okay, inside my pack, I have a variety of little Cuban fiber bags that carry different things. This is a Z-Pack's pack cover, because as most of you may know, with the Granite Gear pack, it is not 100% waterproof. So this is my pack cover, and it has little clips on it that I will use on the rainy days when I need to cover my pack to ensure that it stays warm. I have a tile, which is a GPS locator that is located with my pack, so if it becomes separated from me, I'm able to find it with the app that they have on my cell phone, which will be great. Conversely, I can hit the button on it and it'll make my cell phone chirp. A titanium fork. I have this Dyneema bag that I will use to carry my personal items such as my IDs, my COVID card, a COVID mask, and any credit cards that I may need. I have this small Sea to Summit Sil Nano little day pack that's incredibly small, and I will use that in town when I'm doing laundry and whatnot. When I don't want to carry my big pack around, I can shove some items into it and just wear it on my back. I'm not going to pull it out, but this is a great piece of kit, and it's super light. This is my toiletry bag, which is a little heavy right now, but I'm a very clean person. I have my different vitamins in it that I will need for the entire trip. For each of my 30-day segments that I'm going to do in between my reloads. And I also have light dental floss in there with a needle, so I could additionally use the dental floss to sew up items. I have elasticon tape, toothbrush, toothpaste, and just a couple of other items, and a little Army knife, Swiss Army knife that has fingernail clippers on it that I'll use. And that's about that. That's about it for that. And that's just in those little items that I have connected to my pack. On my foot and shoe system that I have, here's some additional items that I have for that. Most of you are familiar with these grippers that you can put on the outside of your shoe. I have a set of those. I also have the little gaiter that goes on the outside of my shoe, which I use all the time. And then I have a pair of socks that are really just calf socks. They're compression to use in case I see any issues with circulation or blood flow. I just thought it might be nice to have those on board, just with some of the other gear that I have. If it turns out to not be an item that I'm going to use, I'll just take it and mail it back. No big deal. Now, one piece of kit that I'm bringing along, kind of experimentally to see what I got, is on the wet mornings, This is a cover made of neoprene and Kevlar that I use when I'm riding my bicycle. And what it does is it goes right over the toe of the shoe, and the neoprene can keep your feet from getting wet. And then I can also have those grippers that go right over the top of it. But I thought they may be worth trying out. You know, give them a shot and see if they work out. And if not, I'll just mail them back. No big deal. This is my additional clothes bag, which looks pretty daunting, but it's not. Inside here, I have vacuum sealed a set of Gore-Tex glove over mittens. I don't know that I will use those at all, but I could use those with the bunting gloves, or I could use them with my OR gloves in case it's incredibly cold, snowy, and wet. If I end up not using those, I will send those back. As a primary layer next to my body, I have a merino wool long sleeve shirt that I'm going to use. So I'm looking forward to wearing that. It's really nice. And then I have an Appalachian Gear alpaca hoodie that if you would like one of these, they're normally not in stock, but if you get on Appalachian Gear's website, you can they will send you a note when they have them available, and buy them quickly because they sell out very quickly. And the colors, or whatever color that they've got going, this one's called silver, but I like it because it just looks like a sweatshirt. 100% alpaca, very nice. On my sock bag, I'll have 2 sets of Injinji socks, 1 set on my feet, 1 set in my bag, and same goes with my Darn Tough socks. And I'm wearing the appropriate AT Appalachian Trail version of the Darn Tough socks. So like I said, 2 full sets, 1 set on my feet, 1 set in my bag for drying. I have the Ex Officio shorts that I will wear, underwear, and I will be wearing those, which I don't have a set here to show you, but the Nike Challenger shorts that Darwin wears that has 3 pockets, primarily the 2 outside pockets, and it's just a line running short. Nothing too special about it, other than they're kind of hard to get, but they're really great, and I've been wearing those for a couple of years myself. I have a beanie that I'm going to wear. This is an Origin USA, Origin Maine, made in the USA beanie, and I like this one because it's extremely versatile. You can wear it when it's really cold, and you can wear it when it's just kind of nice out. So it's a nice versatile piece of gear, and I also sized it in my hat in such a way that I can wear my hat. It's a flex fit hat, but I can wear it right over the top of the beanie if I'm going down that road on that particular day, and it seems appropriate. And then finally, I have an Appalachian Gear Company buff, or net gaiter as they call it, but you know, it's made like a buff, so I can use it as a net gaiter. I can use it as a covering over my nose and mouth on a cold day. Nice piece of kit, versatile piece of kit, and that's made out of 100% alpaca as well. If I'm not wearing the Nike shorts, the Nike Challenger shorts, I have a pair of, these don't have a particular name, but they're just hiking pants, and they're made up, it looks like they're kind of made out of a nylon ripstop material, and I will wear those if I need those. And they have pockets, various pockets as well. Nothing too particular about that. Okay, as we get into the shelter system and how I'm going to be sleeping, I am going to be sleeping as my shelter system is a hammock. However, being on the trail, the time of year I'm on the trail, I know that most of the shelters will be vacant. So I will have an option using my Tyvek, and I also have a Thermarest Neo Air inflatable mattress that I can use and sleep on the deck in a shelter if I so choose. So I've got that going, and on an incredibly cold situation, I can also use it in my hammock. My hammock will hold that as well. My sleeping bag that I'm using is a hiking bike. Right now I've got a hiking bike. I also have an Enlightened Equipment quilt. I don't know if I'll be using it initially, but I'll probably be using it a little bit later on. But anyway, the hiking bike is 800 down, and it actually cocoons my hammock. So I've slept in it a couple of times. It's really, really good, and I think it's going to be a great addition. Comparative to some of the stuff, this is lightweight, but there are ones like the Enlightened Equipment one that's much lighter, but all good. My puffy jacket is an Enlightened Equipment Torrid, which many of you know and love. This thing is so light, it's crazy. It's a fantastic piece of gear, and I will use it a lot, no doubt. Also, what I'll be using most of the time is just like this little wind jacket. This is a Patagonia wind jacket. It's in a military pattern, but just Patagonia wind jacket, waterproof to a degree, not made to be used as a rain jacket, but it will repel some water, but it's mainly just to keep the wind from going through. Shelter system. I have a Dyneema shelter that goes over the top of my hammock. It is one, I forgot what it's called. It's kind of the one that has, it's the giant tarp, but it also has the opposing flaps that come down that you can close shut to reduce the amount of wind on you. And I also was able to find a fantastic tutorial which showed me how to put little clips and bungees on it to either open it up or close it depending on what I want to do. And I forgot where I got that, but if I send it, I'll put a link somewhere for you guys to find that. And of course, I outfitted it with all the Spectra and Kevlar, lines for it to be great. My hammock is a Hummingbird hammock. Great hammock. I've slept in it a bunch. And I also have the Hummingbird straps, which are made out of Kevlar or Spectra, that are made to reduce the damage to trees that you may be using. And it uses kind of like, it doesn't have any carabiners or anything. It uses kind of like that Chinese finger trap method of tightening itself up, which is really good. And then I have just some titanium spikes that I'll use. I use this high colored neon on pretty much all of my stuff, so hopefully I won't walk into it in the middle of the night, and I won't leave it laying on the ground at the trail site when I go to leave, which would not be good because I didn't bring any extras. Or I only brought a couple of extras. And then finally, for my cook system, as we get into the foodstuffs, I used one of your tutorials that I saw online and created one of these little foil koozies for it to go in. And inside of it, I have a Sea to Summit collapsible cup. I have a Snow Peak stove, which has the automatic lighter on it. And then of course, my fuel can is inside of my titanium cup, which is inside my koozie. And I've used it, I've cooked all my recipes in these, and I know that they're all gonna work good. And I'm really happy with it. I think it's gonna be great. I intend on cooking twice a day, coffee and oatmeal in the morning, and then my big meal later on in the evening. And so that's how that's gonna roll. Boom, 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 and boom. Okay. And then, for the final 6.5 pounds in my bag, is my food bag, and with all my food in it. And I will cover what's actually in this food bag at a later time, so I don't make this video too long, so I can go over it with you. So I'm planning on carrying 5 days of food with me, and I'm looking, right now, I know it's not enough, but each day I've allocated about 2,500 calories. It's mostly vegan, with the exception of some beef jerky. Not that I'm a vegan, it's just simpler, works out. A kind of nut-based kind of thing works out better. So anyway, for protein sources. Anyway, that is what it is, and I think that's all I've got for right now. And just the final things that are in there, of course, are my cell phone and also my microphone, which I'm recording with right now. So I appreciate your time in waiting, for being patient with this video. I know it's a little bit longer than I would like it to be, but I hope it answers some of your questions or gives you some questions that you may want to ask me as I start out on this winter hike on the Appalachian Trail. All right, this is Chucklivinlarge, and I will see you all out on the trail in about 2 weeks. All right, great. Y'all have a great day. Cheers.